that attended today. It certainly made a big difference. A couple of penalties against the opponent offense there at the end. Obviously, a real big one made it 4th and 15. They come up with 14 yards at the end. I'm really thankful to them for their support. Certainly, you always want to win a game, but certainly we have to improve in a lot of different areas. Some bright spots coming out really strong, but then really just not sustaining the momentum that we came out with in certain areas of our execution and our discipline. So certainly we've got to continue to improve, but all in all, some bright spots with some young guys making a lot of plays. Some other guys stepping up in spots where we had injuries. Questions, please.
Coach, we're going to start with Jerry Allen on the post-game show.
There we go. I got you. First of all, congratulations. Obviously, last year your team had a little trouble with the turnover ratio, takeaway. I mean, what a start. Forcing 5 turnovers. You turned 2 of those early into touchdowns. That's a huge key in this ball game.
It sure was. You know, we knew that they had a really good offense, and we had to find a way to create possessions for ourselves. But guys, again, we came out explosive, and really forced some things to happen that got us the ball back. And then late in the game, some really, really big stops by the defense. Defense was on the field too long in certain spurts. And that's, again, we have to be more consistent on offense and hang on to the ball and sustain drives and execute more consistently to make that a reality. But yeah, those turnovers were huge.
Took control of this ball game and the running game, particularly Lane Verdell was special. 84 yards rushing in the 4th quarter, really kind of turned the game back around.
Yeah, it's what we are. You know, certainly something that as we watch film, we have to realize, you know, what we can do really well and things we have to get better at. That's something that really stood out as a positive. So CJ is a great football player, you know, so is Travis. And, you know, found our rhythm a little bit more in the 4th quarter.
As you look at some of the outstanding play, I mean, it was special to see Justin Flo do what he did. I don't have his numbers in front of me right now, and he stepped up in a situation where you lose 2 keys. Kayvon Thibodeau goes down, Drew Mathis goes down. To have a young man step up and take charge like that. Noah Sewell as well. Yeah,
well, the Kayvon's injury certainly was something that you know, we certainly don't ever want to see for anybody, but you know, it hurts us considerably playing on the edge. Drew Mathis has been a great player. You know, Justin had missed some time about a week and a half ago due to getting nicked up in camp, so he was just getting his rhythm again. But he found it throughout the course of the game, really stepped up in there, did a great job. Just plays with so much energy, so much passion. He's a force, and the more he plays, the better he's going to get. Really excited about the way he played today and what he brings to this football team.
The crowd seemed in that 4th quarter to come alive, and I thought made a difference. Kind of gave your defense as well as your offense a lift.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, you get that noise level is just different, you know, when they're into it. And, you know, certainly at that time, there was plenty of reason to get into it, right? We needed stops, we needed a score, and they did. And, you know, certainly we created momentum. They helped create momentum, and it helped us seal the football game. So we just got to do it on a more consistent basis.
You have a chance to see your team play their first game now. What do you know now about your team, having played somebody other than yourself, that you didn't know before this ball game?
Well, I do know this is that they're into it. You know, they prepared hard. They prepared what we felt. We all felt we prepared well. We didn't execute, and we didn't have the discipline that we've shown consistently in practice. And I don't think it's a matter of want to or whatnot. We just got to do a better job coaching and playing it. But there is resiliency. There is grit. Guys kept playing. Guys kept going. They care about each other. They want to be really good. And they know that the only way to get better is to pour yourself into it. You don't naturally get better because you play a game the following week. You get better because you work at the things that you lacked. And again, I don't want to I want to credit the other team. I want to credit Fresno State for playing, and they played well, and they have the good football team. And we got a good football team too. We got to keep getting better.
Final question for me, I guess a comment maybe. Anthony Brown, 15 to 24, 172 yards, touchdowns. He seemed to manage your offense pretty well, and he was under pressure quite a bit.
Was under pressure a couple times. You know, got to look at a couple things. We did have some opportunities there, and he made them happen. He made some big plays with his feet and with his arm. Big pass to Johnny. Just got to get there and look at the film and see what the pocket looked like, see what our route structure looked like and see where we can improve, because we've been really good in practice and preparation. He's a really good football player, and, we expect to get better, and we will.
Everybody else has been looking ahead to Ohio State. Now you can actually sit back with your team and say, let's get ready for that next ball game, Ohio State next weekend. Congratulations on the win here today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And we'll let the rest of the media jump in and fire some questions at you as well.
All right, let's open it up to questions from others. AJ McCord from Coin.
Hey, Coach, first and foremost, what can you share about Kayvon Thibodeau and what you know at this point?
We got rolled up on. I just, beyond that, I know it's a sprain, which we're very optimistic that it's nothing too serious. But and as far as we know, x-rays are negative. So we'll assess a little bit later and get that information to you guys as soon as we can.
It's Cristobal, 247 Sports.
Coach, walk me through your vantage point on Anthony's run. It's a big play, 4th down, game on the line. Good to see him come through, but kind of was that the call, and was that what you wanted to see him do?
Well, it's part of it on that call, certainly. He is he reads his keys and, he pitches it if it's there. If not, he keeps it. He did just that and made a great move, put his foot in the ground, crossed the field and went and scored. So he made the play better. The play was designed to get a big chunk, first down, first and foremost, but then after that, he made the rest of it happen. So I think that's where his experience comes into play. He has seen those situations before. He's been in big ball games and in big stadiums. He did a lot of really good things today. He did a lot of really good things, and we got to continue to construct and create this thing and present ourselves with the supporting cast around him to keep growing this offense. We had moments there on offense and others, you'd like to have back. And we know that we could be a really good offense, but we have to coach for much better execution, attention to detail, and discipline to make that a reality. You got to work it into reality. It just doesn't happen.
James Crapia, the Oregonian.
Mario, in KT's absence, Adrian had to step in quite a bit. Braden Swinson obviously was going to play quite a bit regardless, but how did you feel both of them played? You talked in camp about Adrian having to be an every down player. He was forced to do so very quickly.
Yeah, it looked like, for the most part, we did get some pressure on them. They got the ball out quick. I know they were 30 or 40, 43, if I'm not mistaken. So the ball was out quick a few times, but on some of our, man side rushes and on some of our stunts and games, looks like we got home, at least created some pressure and forced some balls to come out early. I thought that we set the edge pretty well, except for that one play in the second quarter where the ball rounded us, second or third quarter, pardon me. But aside from that, I thought there was really bright spots there in the way that they played. I know that they played hard. Just watching them, the intensity they played with, the way they were finishing to the ball carrier, the way they were closing on quarterbacks, balls that were being swung out to the perimeter. They chased them down and they retraced really well when the ball was thrown downfield. So all in all, I think they played a good game. I'm going to have to watch film to see how they graded out. But those guys are good football players that have to keep developing and maturing for us to be a good football team.
Matt Preem, 247 Sports.
Yeah, Mario, you had some offensive plays that were pretty impressive and then some inconsistency on offense as well. Just what do you assess or attribute to the up and down flow of the offense today?
It's hard to put your finger on it because the energy was real good. The preparation was real good. We thought our physicality in pregame was well also. I know they have some good players. They did what we thought they would do. We did what we thought we would do. And there were times maybe a hat placement was off, hand position was off, leverage was off. Maybe a read wasn't, read correctly. There's enough in the execution where there's some big plays to be had, and we didn't make them happen at times, and other times we did. So I don't think it's a matter of scheme or effort or want to. You gotta keep grinding at executing and the details that go with executing at a high level, especially when a team does what they do. They play quarters. It sometimes turns into man. They play some post safety stuff. You're going to see different things, some cloud coverage that your quarterback's going to have to make some decisions on. And they're going to cover you differently. You're going to see different cover patterns. And with that comes, again, precision and discipline. And so we just got to keep working.
Max Torres, Ducks Digest.
Coach, Triquez Bridges had that big stop at the end of the game there. With him and Dante getting their first, decent playing time, how do you feel they performed today?
They had good moments. I know they competed, and that's what we wanted from them. We wanted to make sure both those guys went out there and just gave us everything they had. I know they like to have some plays back. You know, sometimes they were supposed to be pressed up there. They created a cushion, ball's chucked out there on a hitch or a comeback, and you know you want those plays back. But it comes sometimes with playing for the first time in an extended role during a relevant time. You know, in a game like this, and they have a good passing game. They do. Quarterback's a good player. The receivers are good players. So if you're not precise, you know they're going to get you. But Triquez stepped up. He made some really good plays. He's a conscientious guy. Dante Manning, same thing, played with a lot of energy. I like the way that they involved themselves in the run game too now. You know, those boundary runs, they did a really good job, you know, because they went right at them trying to get the ball wide, and they stepped up in there and threw themselves in there and made some good stops. So all in all, proud of them and looking forward to them continuing to improve and get better.
Ashley Conklin, register guard.
Mario, what's the status of Mikhail Wright?
Mikkel?
Yeah.
Mikkel's good.
Jesus Cano, Fresno State Collegian.
Hey coach, I know you mentioned earlier that you said that, Fresno State was a great team. You guys had them against the wall, with those back-to-back turnovers. What was the biggest difference that you've seen from Fresno State after that?
Well, I think number one, they were a very well coached team and they have talent. A lot of respect for them. I think the second thing is, college football is a game of momentum. You're up 14-0, and you have a chance to really create a lot of momentum and create a really difficult situation. But you don't get the ball back, or you give the ball back, and all of a sudden there's a field goal, and then there's more, and all of a sudden momentum has swung. And credit to them for doing that. So I think they did this. A lot of their mesh stuff, their crossing routes, some of their patterns we didn't match as well as we thought that we could or would. And they did it both to the field and to the boundary. So they have some really good route concepts. I thought the receivers did a really nice job of finding some soft spots in the coverage and settling it down. And their quarterback is accurate, man. He got the ball out. He took a lot of shots now. I know we had 4 sacks, but we got to the quarterback, hopefully a dozen times or so. But a gutsy player, always had a lot of respect for him. And I believe in that. In football, you respect the game of football by giving credit where credit is due, and credit to them for playing hard, playing well. They've got a good football team and good football game.
Eric Scopel, 247 Sports.
You guys forced a lot of turnovers today. I think the 3 that were recovered came off of a former 5-star recruit making plays, Justin, Noah, and Kayvon. Just talk about the way those guys got around the ball today, and just I think speed and athleticism in general from your defense.
Yeah, that sack fumble, you see, you watch it on tape, that's what you're looking for when you recruit a player, a guy that can explode like that, because you change things, right? A guy tries to gap hinge or tries to set him, but the set doesn't get there. The set line is cut off, you blow by him, and all of a sudden you hit the quarterback, ball's on the ground. Same thing with Justin. They move at a different speed. So people have to adjust differently, and all of a sudden the collisions are that much greater, right? All of a sudden the opportunities to dislodge a ball, to close in a situation and get someone on the ground that may have broken for a first down or a touchdown. Those things are a reality with athletes of that caliber. So those certainly are 2 guys, them, Noah, a lot of guys on defense that are starting to, play at a high level, and we just got to keep elevating the way that we play.
Israel LaRue, Duck TV Sports.
Coach Mikhail Wright, he made some big plays on special teams and defense. What kind of energy does he bring to the team for you guys?
What kind of what? I'm sorry?
What kind of energy does he bring to the team for you guys?
But Mikkel has done an awesome job of coaching young guys. Mikkel has been here now. This is his 3rd year in the program, albeit last year being kind of a half a year, but he's seen a lot of football and he's dynamic. The guy, I thought he was a quiet guy. He's on the leadership council now. He does a phenomenal job addressing the leadership council and talking to other guys. And you'll see him during practice all the time, pulling guys aside and talking technique, talking eye discipline, trying to teach guys how to do things better and how to enhance a culture. So Mikkel, he brings a lot to the table. He brings a lot to the table because he's not only returning footballs and covering and playing defense, he also plays special teams, and he's a hold-up guy on the punt team, right? He covers. On the punt return team, he's a cover guy. He's one of the wings on the punt team as well. So we just got to make sure that a guy like that, he's getting in the vicinity of 80 plays a game, maybe even more, that we always got to make sure that during the course of the week that he continues to take care of his body so he can be ready to go on Saturdays.
Time for 2 more. James Crapia, the Oregonian.
Mario, looked like the injury to Drew was more significant, both in the way he pulled up and he was on crutches, obviously, the rest of the way. Any initial diagnosis on him and just the impact that that has at inside line where Justin and Noah, I believe, played every snap thereafter?
Well, Nate played a bunch too today, and Keith Brown was nicked up. Guys that missed today, I'm sure you saw that, or that we held back and we were very limited, or guys like that, guys like Troy. But to your point about Drew was Drew looks like he may have hurt himself a little bit more significant than KT, and we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see till I get with the doctors. I've spoke with them briefly. We just got to get him examined, get a picture of that thing and see what it looks like. And hopefully, I don't think it's, the real bad side, but I think, he may have hurt it pretty good. We'll see.
Last question, Tyson Alger, the I-5 corridor.
Hey, Mario, what stands out to you the most about just everything that Cam McCormick went through, from the injuries to getting back and being on the field today for you guys?
Well, it's 2 years worth, so imagine that. Imagine for 2 years, just not knowing and feeling like you're getting there, and all of a sudden you don't feel very good, and then having to start over with a process and a procedure, and then hoping and praying that it does come through, and then slowly through rehab, good days, not so good days, progress, and maybe going backwards a little bit, then finally having a breakthrough in camp and saying, okay, we can go a little bit more, and then getting first live rep. That's a big step right there to actually getting on the field. Hats off to him. He's a tremendous competitor. I mean, nothing but, admiration, love, and respect for him. And everybody does, because I don't know how many people would actually be able to stick with it like he has. So credit to him. I know he's happy for his teammates. He's happy for himself getting back out there. So looking forward to getting him and cranked up and prepared for this next week.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate the time. Congrats on the win.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good day, guys.